The potential new king of Electro is almost here, and unlike some of the other exclusive characters, where you might be hesitant on preparing for them since you aren't sure if you are going to pick them up, it's almost certain that Xiangli Yao will be a free character, so every player would have a reason to prepare for him, especially if you are after a new DPS character to help in clearing content or to just have fun with. So just so you guys can tap into Xiangli Yao's full potential day 1, I'll be going through the Ascension materials he requires, his best team synergies, weapons he can utilize, and the echo builds he can run. Just before we jump into it, would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Now, as for the Ascension and skill upgrade materials required to completely max out Xiangli Yao, first up would be 29 green Whispering Cores, 40 blue Whispering Cores, 52 purple Whispering Cores, and 61 gold Whispering Cores. At this point in the game, I'm sure many of you have accumulated enough Whispering Cores to max out a couple characters at least. However, if your account is more recently made or you just don't have enough Whispering Cores, there are a few ways to pick them up. The best way to accumulate Whispering Cores is to simply track and defeat all of the enemies within your guidebook that drop Whispering Cores. As time consuming as this will be, you would be picking up echoes in the process, and you aren't exactly consuming any resources or stamina to pick these cores up. Now, a quick but expensive way to pick some Whispering Cores up if you are desperate would be through the weapon shop, where you can pick up 60 green Whispering Cores and 20 blue Whispering Cores for a total of 180,000 credits. Given how quick you are able to burn through credits, I wouldn't recommend picking them up from here, but if you are desperate, it's down to you. The final way would be through forgery challenges, where you can pick up skill upgrade materials as well as green and blue Whispering Cores from any domain. So as you are farming for Xiangli Yao skill upgrade materials, you also will be able to pick up some Whispering Cores. On the topic of skill upgrade materials, Xiangli Yao will need 25 green cadence seeds, 28 blue cadence buds, 55 purple cadence leaves, and 67 gold cadence blossoms. Also, you'll need 46 Thunder Tacet Cores from the Tempest Mephis, 26 Unending Destruction materials from the Skull Weekly boss fight, and lastly, 60 Violet Corals, which is primarily located in the Northfall Barrens and some over in Wuming Bay. Then of course, you would need 2.2 million credits to actually use all of the materials you have pre-farmed, so just ensure you have enough for when he drops. Now moving on to Xiangli Yao's team synergies. Xiangli Yao will be a Resonant Liberation focused Electro character, just like Calcharo, meaning any of the teams you would be able to slot Calcharo into, you would be able to do the same for Xiangli Yao. So with that, Yinlin will of course be the best in slot sub DPS character for Xiangli Yao, given her Ultra skill can provide a 20% Electro damage bonus and a 25% Resonant Liberation damage bonus. So Xiangli Yao would be able to fully utilize the effects of Yinlin's Ultra skill. Also, Yinlin is overall the best sub DPS in the game since she can deal Electro coordinated attacks through her Forte circuit, which allows Xiangli Yao to remain on the field for long periods of time, and since he is a main DPS character, I assume he will want those extensive periods on the field. So if you have Yinlin, she would literally be perfect alongside Xiangli Yao, but if you don't have her, there are some alternatives. As I mentioned, Xiangli Yao is more liberation focused, so that would mean Jianxin will synergize very well with Xiangli Yao too, as Jianxin's Ultra skill is capable of providing a massive 38% Resonance Liberation damage boost. Along with that, Jianxin's kit is stacked with a ton of utility to support Xiangli Yao even more, such as with the Liberation, as it can crowd control enemies together to allow Xiangli Yao to clear through them much more efficiently. Also, the Forte circuit will provide a shield to the team and heal the active character every 6 seconds, which can take a bit long to pull off, but you'll have even more survivability in those tough battles. So Jianxin would be a solid sub DPS for Xiangli Yao, as she can provide many things to the team and most importantly, the huge liberation damage boost. Another character that can provide a liberation damage boost through the Ultra skill would be our current latest character and the Queen of Fusion, Changli. Changli's Ultra skill is the fusion version of Yinlin's, so Xiangli Yao wouldn't necessarily benefit from the 20% fusion damage bonus, but would benefit from the 25% Resonance Liberation damage bonus. Also, considering Changli is a DPS character that is better utilized on dual DPS teams, there is a chance of being able to quick swap between Changli and Xiangli Yao on the field. That being said, we would need to wait and see how fast Xiangli Yao's rotations are to see whether he can really play on a dual DPS team with Changli. But either way, he would still majorly benefit from the 25% Resonance Liberation damage boost. Now, as the last resort, if you don't have any of these characters, Yuanwu would be a character every player should have since he is free and is considered as the free-to-play Yinlin, since he is also able to deal electro-coordinated attacks. Also, Yuanwu can increase resistance to interruption for the team and takes up hardly any field time. So Yuanwu is definitely a great free-to-play option which some of you may have already built for Jinshi. So you would have another use now for Yuanwu being alongside Xiangli Yao. Just in regards to the support character in the third slot, it should go without saying, but Verina would be the best choice as she is with every team in the game. Now as for the weapons Xiangli Yao would be able to utilize, as always the signature weapon would be the best in slot by far. So if you are planning to use Xiangli Yao as one of your main DPS characters, I would recommend picking it up since if he is free, you would have a lot more Astrite spare, which makes picking up his signature weapon a lot more easier than with the other exclusive characters. As for the weapon itself, nothing has been confirmed, but I can only assume the signature weapon will be able to provide a boost in resonant celebration damage within its passive. Also, as there isn't a 5-star gauntlet with a crit main stat in the game currently, the weapon will likely have either crit rate or crit damage as the main stat, which will provide Xiangli Yao with a massive boost in DPS. However, if you aren't looking to pick up the signature weapon, there are a couple alternatives. The only other 5-star gauntlet would be a great overall weapon, as it provides up to 36.4% attack as the main stat, along with the passive increasing energy regen by 12.8% and both basic attack damage bonus and resonant skill damage bonus by 10%. So it can provide a few good buffs through the passive that Xiangli Yao can utilize along with a large boost in attack from the main stat. However, it isn't anything special since it's pretty much an attached stat stick. As for the 4-star options, the best 4-star gauntlets would definitely be the Stonard. Given it's the only gauntlet currently that provides crit rate as the main stat, and it can boost resonant celebration damage by 18% for 15 seconds just after using a resonant skill. So due to the fact this weapon will be able to help in obtaining that golden crit ratio and boost Xiangli Yao's main source of damage, it makes this weapon perfect for Xiangli Yao. However, it is a battle pass weapon, so unfortunately there is a paywall for you to pick this weapon up. As for your last resort, the Holo Mirage would be a decent option you can pick up through summons, as it provides up to 30.3% attack as the main stat along with up to a 9% increase in attack and defense when using the Resonant Celebration. So you are able to obtain a good boost in attack, which makes this a decent option. Also, it is the last gauntlet that provides a viable main stat for Xiangli Yao. Now finally for the Echo builds. Xiangli Yao being an electric character would benefit the most with a 5-piece Void Thunder set, given he would be able to obtain a total of 40% increased electro damage whilst using this set. Now the best main Echo would be the Tempest Mephis, even though the Thundering Mephis has a better passive for Xiangli Yao, as it provides an electro damage bonus and resonant celebration damage bonus, opposed to an electro damage bonus and a heavy attack damage bonus from the Tempest Mephis. However, the skill animation of the Tempest Mephis is just much quicker than the Thundering Mephis, which makes rotations much smoother. The difference isn't that significant, so either one, to be fair, is good, but the one that is better overall will be the Tempest Mephis. Now the best Echo build would be 4-3-3-1-1, with the 4 costs having either crit rate or crit damage as the main stat, the 3 costs having electro damage bonus, and the 1 cost having attack percent. But the 4-4-1-1-1 build is also available since we have 2 electro 4 cost Echoes. So if you don't have the best 3 cost Echoes or you are just struggling to obtain a good crit ratio, going for 2 4 cost Echoes would definitely be viable till you can build a solid 4-3-3-1-1 electro set. Now if you don't have a full Void Thunder set built, you can opt to use a 2-piece Lingering Tune set along with a 2-piece Void Thunder set. That way you'll be able to obtain a 10% electro damage boost and a 10% attack boost. So this would also be a viable build for Xiangli Yao, but of course you should aim to build a full Void Thunder set to tap into his full potential. Now the best part about building Xiangli Yao's Echoes is if you are a Calcharo main, you may not need to farm any Echoes at all, since Xiangli Yao seems like a direct replacement of Calcharo. So you would be able to switch all of the Echoes across, as I doubt you'll be using the both of them on the same team. So Xiangli Yao's Echo builds are pretty straightforward, as he is literally Calcharo 2.0. Overall, I do believe Xiangli Yao will be a great electro DPS character and is most likely going to power creep Calcharo, which is still crazy to me since he probably is a free character, but for some PGR players I do understand this is a bit normal for them. As a side note, there does need to be more 4-star weapon choices in the game, since it's the only issue I see in building characters, as it does feel like we are inclined to pull for the signature weapon. However, signature weapons are guaranteed, so it does help a ton in picking them up. Aside from that, I do see Xiangli Yao as the upgraded version of Calcharo, and not in terms of DPS, but how smooth the character will play, since I'm sure the devs were able to see how clunky Calcharo turned out to be. So Xiangli Yao will be the redemption and hopefully providing a much better gameplay experience, which would definitely make him worth building. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Also, drop a comment down below on whether you will be building up Xiangli Yao straight away, or will you wait a bit to see how great he plays and if he is worth it. And yeah, hope to catch you guys later.